Hello, everyone that's watching. Hello, viewers. My name is Zach.
I'm Ethan.
My name is Malik.
I'm Jairus.
And we are all leaders in a church in some capacity. And so we wanted to have a couch conversation about being a leader in the church. Oh my gosh. Being a leader in sorry.
I have a question for you guys. What have you found to be the most challenging part of stepping into leadership as young men in your church context?
I think for me, one of the most challenging things that I've seen is trying to navigate through different seasons of the team, especially like through rebuilds. I know at my church there have been a lot of team changes, per se, a lot of people that have either stepped out for various reasons or coming in and wanting to explore what's to offer on the team. So really just navigating not only cohesion in a sense, but navigating the people that do want to leave, navigating how we fill up the role, how we select the people to come in. Obviously, we're taking it back to God in many senses, but really just navigating how to get back to, or trying to also see if we can not necessarily idolize the place that we were at before in terms of rebuilding. Obviously, there were going to be some dark seasons. There were some dark seasons. But, yeah, really just leaning back into cohesion.
Is your leadership capacity at church, is it like restricted to like a worship ministry context? Like
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. What about you, bro?
I would say for me, it's definitely leading people of all ages at a young age. And so for me, on like my leadership teams that we run at our youth program, or even just leading a congregational moment during a time of worship where you have people literally as young as newborns all the way up until people as old as in their 80s or 90s, and being at a place, and it's not necessarily people will make comments or things like that, but it also could be an insecurity thing of, oh my goodness, like I'm tasked with leading the masses at a young age, where I have people that have way more life experiences than me, way more, have walked just way more life, people that have families. Like I'm a youth pastor, for example, and me telling parents or talking to parents about, hey, these are resources that can help, and having the feeling of like, what do I know? Like I'm 21, I'm not even married yet, and I have no kids. So how do you navigate that?
Indeed.
Yeah, I feel like what's important though is not to rely then on your own wisdom and like your own strength in that. Like I feel like it's important to face that, but then in the same breath, I feel like even as older leaders, like they're dealing with the same thing. It's like, how do I have the life experience to speak to these people that have come from these contexts when I don't have that? I have connections with a like street ministry in London called Arcade, is what it's called. And I used to do worship nights for them once a month. And I was put in a situation, not just because of my age, but just because of like how blessed I've been. Like I've never had to wonder where like food was coming from. Like my parents have always like been around, and I never had to help pay bills growing up. And so for me, I had to kind of check my heart. It's like when I worship, I think it's just because of all these things that God has done for me. So then how do I lead these people that don't have these things? Like what are they thankful for? And just that forced me, though, then in humility to be like, no, it's actually not about just what God has done in these regards, but also what he did on Calvary. And so like coming back to that place, I think is applicable in that context. But then also in like what you were saying, the first time I led worship on a Sunday morning, like instead of just outside like the youth group context, and it was for people older than me, it's like these people aren't going to respect me. But I think it's more so just like in humility, including the Holy Spirit and making sure that God is at the center of it. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys resonate with that, if that's the same thing for you.
Yeah, that's cool. 100%. What about you, bro?
At my church, I've been a youth leader, and I've been helping with the children's ministry for some time now. So I'll definitely say one of the struggles could be adapting with the individual, because everybody comes from different backgrounds, different contexts, and everybody has a different upbringing. Some people would be able to participate and behave themselves well. Some people would be running around and bouncing off walls. So obviously the way you interact with everybody would be different. And definitely understanding like what's it called, definitely being honest with the kid, obviously, and you want to come across well. Obviously you don't want to come off too judgmental or too harsh, but you want to come in an honest manner that you can have the kid have the benefit from the doubt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that. Zach, what do you think about this?
About like struggles as a young.
Yeah, like what do you think are your like top? Like your top 2, top 3?
My top 2, top 3.
Top three.
I can give you like some that are up there. I don't know, but like top 2. I'd say one of them. So I'll take the mic. My fault, bro.
Appreciate it.
No, I think kind of what you were talking about earlier, where it's like struggling with self-doubt, and that I'm leading people who have more life experience than me. But I kind of talked about that already. I guess I feel like another one is it's easy for me to excuse like inadequacy and excuse like giving 50% instead of 100 because I'm like, oh, but like I'm new at this. I have room to grow. And not even when it's stuff that's genuine, like, oh, I don't have a lot of experience in this. So yeah, obviously I'm not gonna do well. It'll be like, no, I didn't pray into this enough, and I'm still learning, whatever. It's like, no, I knew, like I knew, but it's easy for me to use as an excuse.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys feel the same way.
No, I have most definitely been in many.
Yeah, because especially like, you guys probably had this even more than I did, because in a music context, like when you are like talented in something, people are like, oh, like you're doing so well in this, that then when you do mess up as a young leader, it's like, oh, but like I'm still better than these people, which is like a really bad way of thinking. But if I'm honest, it's easy for me to fall into that kind of like prideful thought pattern.
Oh, for
Does that make sense?
No, spirit of comparison has been such a struggle.
Yeah.
Like in both like thinking you're better or like trying to look up to somebody, trying to chase somebody in that aspect, especially for leaders in the music realm and the worship realm. Comparison is really a robbery for sure.
I think along with that too, something could be a struggle of is submitting to leadership sometimes. When that we're like, oh, like people have told me that I'm good or great my whole life, and then you get to a situation where my lead pastor says this all the time. It says submission is not submission until you disagree with something. Where it's easy to really agree with somebody and kind of whatever. I submit to that. But then the moment that something you're like, I disagree with it, but God calls us to submit to leadership. I don't know if you've read the book. I think it's by Gene Edwards. It's called The Tale of Three Kings.
I've heard of it.
It's really good, but it goes into the story of David's line, and it goes from King Saul to King David, and then David's son Absalom. And in the story of Absalom, David's son, it talks about how people pretty much just told him that he was good his whole life, and he was great, and that he would do a better job leading than David. And then it actually leads to him and his downfall. And where he thought he was great, he actually wasn't, because he didn't submit to leadership. Where if he waited, then he would have became king eventually. And for me, it's something that I still wrestle with, of like, and not that I don't agree with my lead pastor or anything like that, but even for example,
let it be known.
Let it be known. I love
Ethan has never
Pastor Chad McLaren.
Never disagreed.
I love my Pastor Chad McLaren.
Pastor Chad McLaren. He has never ever once disagreed with you.
No, I never. I love Bethel Church. Shout out Bethel students. But it's a struggle. And also learning what to say and not to say sometimes in any situations. I don't know, especially if you feel this too, because you're 07, you're telling us, right? As a youth leader, like even for me, where my students in grade 12, I'm how many years older than?
Like 4 years older.
Yeah, like 4 years older than, where it's like, I'm actually not that far away from you in age. And so there's jokes or things that I could say or do, and it's like, or slipping into that.
No, I've been called to someone. Yeah, 100%.
That's a struggle for me where I'm like, I don't know, like, I know where the line is, but sometimes when you're in the heat of something, it's like, there's a joke I know I can make here, but raising yourself.
And then they're looking to you as that leader, so they won't hold you accountable. Yeah. But then you've done them the disservice, because now they're going to go and they're going to say, oh, well, Pastor Ethan did it, so I can do it. Or like Zach did it, so I can do it, and leading out of that place of, yes, I'm a young leader, yes, we're close in age, but it's actually not just about those qualifications, it's about the calling that I've been drawn to, and like living in light of that.
Yeah, real.
Oh, I was gonna say, going back to what you said about submission, even I guess generalizing a bit to our field, a sort of submission to God that doesn't allow us to be caught up in like the material worship. What I mean by that is we've had the privilege, I know me and you have had the privilege to be raised around some of the best musicians in the country. And whenever we delve out of those spaces and go to a quote unquote less musical, in the musical sense, field of worship, we tend to, especially when I was younger, I'll speak for myself, I tended to think about the times where I could have gone to a different place and got a better experience. But what I'm trying to get at is the struggle for me specifically was coming to a place where I don't see worship as a material thing, and instead wherever I am, God is in the worship as long as we are giving it to Him in that regard.
Yeah.
So really just struggling with submission in all places in God, especially with the worship, no matter where I am.
University's team this year is fire though. Some of the best musicians in the country.
Amen.
Is it right here? Zach Wilson. That's the GOAT. Go right here. Greatest singer in the Western Ontario district. Our keyboard player, John Selvin.
He's not on cam, but he's right
He's
there.
not on cam, but he's behind the camera.
That's
The greatest keys player in Western Ontario
Telling
district.
you right now.
Ontario district as a whole, bro.
Maybe bro,
Top five.
Maybe top five for sure. Top five for sure. Anyways, bro, what do you think about like leading leaders that are younger than you, but not like around your age? Like, how do you find that?
This guy's got a cheat code though. He's got a full beard at 18. I feel like he's blessed and highly favored.
All right, so I definitely say when it comes to, obviously it's one thing to give advice, but also practice the advice you give. You know what I'm saying? Because like, if I tell somebody to do something, but if I'm not doing it myself, the chances of them listening is probably close to not. Because if I'm not doing it, they're not gonna do it. So definitely leading by example is very important, because like you don't want to tell somebody to do something if you're not willing to do it yourself. Yeah. And especially like I'm a pastor's kid. I'm a pastor's kid too. So like there's something called we all have heard this thing, life in the fishbowl. You know what I'm saying? So like if you everybody's gonna be on you, and if you make a mistake, people are gonna be on you for it. People like you've done X, Y, and Z. How were you able to do this? You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, that definitely plays a role for sure. 100%.
I feel like we talked a lot about like the struggles, but also all the blessings that have come with like being around leaders that are humble enough to give opportunities and to let you hold like small pieces of ministry or larger pieces of ministry. Like the growth that comes with that of just someone instilling like faith and trust in you. Like, what has it been like for you?
I've been mentored really well just for all of my high school life, and I think my Bible college life as well. I had the privilege of being mentored really well from probably about grade 6 onward from my youth pastor, who kind of really instilled the calling of ministry over me, and I think was really effective in giving me opportunities. Like, I remember certain times he would throw me into the fire. Like, oh yeah, no, here's the mic, you're gonna close off service, or by the way, hey Ethan, you don't actually get a say in what you do or not. You're preaching in 3 Wednesdays from now, when our youth nights were, and it was like, oh okay, crap. And then even at the church I am at now, shout out Bethel Church. But one of the things that I asked them when I was going into the job interview is I really had to humble myself and go, hey guys, like, they're like, why do you want the job? And I'm like, I really love ministry, but in all honesty, I have no idea how to do this thing, like, at all. Like, and so one of the things I was like, if I'm coming here and if you guys decide to select me for the job, I want there to be a mutual understanding of I'm looking for mentorship. And my lead pastor, his name is Chad McLaren, jumped right over that. He's like, that's awesome. And so just throughout my ministry, I have weekly meetings with him where I'll sit down in his office, and the first question he asks me every time is, how are you doing? And it's not a blow by, like, how are you doing? I'm good. But it's a actual conversation that's had. And then in terms of like, what's going well in your ministry? What's going on there? What are your struggles? And because I am new, there's always struggles in ministry. There's always things that you'll hold there's always things that will be at tension, but being able to walk through that with somebody who is way more experienced than I am as a youth pastor, a pastor as a whole, and even a lead pastor, of somebody who knows how to lead and has navigated tension on a way broader scale is important. Because when I'm faced with tension, it's like it's clockwork to him, but he's able to help me out in a way that doesn't make it seem like it's clockwork to him. Where he's not like yeah, that's easy. It's no, that sucks. Let me help you through that. Wow. And so to lead pastors and people watching this in leadership, like mentorship is important. And even I know for us, Malik, even in musicianship, growing up, and yeah, sometimes being like, yo, like, get better, like, but there were many shaky moments, but above all,
I think for me, we all sort of touched on it, especially in our field. As a mentor, giving the blessing of belief in somebody is something that can go truly a long way. I know for myself, I've had many mentors throughout the end of elementary going into the end of high school that have truly instilled something in me that I've carried into my own style of playing, that I've carried into my own way of ministry. Even my guitar comes from my mentor. Like that's the level of belief that he put in me to be great at my craft, something that he saw in me a long time ago that I'm still cultivating now. So just as a mentor, if you can impart belief on, so it doesn't have you don't have to give somebody a guitar or like a camera or like anything, but if you can give a child specifically that belief that you know that they can prevail as long as they have these tweaks and as long as they're on this road and you can put them on this path and let God handle the rest, then that's something that you're giving them that's gonna last a lifetime, honestly.
100%. You should. Follow some. I definitely say like mentorship is very important, especially like you want to be able to have the kid to be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I'm saying? You want the kid to be able to have a growth mindset, and you want somebody to be able to have hope and faith in themselves. You know what I'm saying? And people need to understand that like whenever somebody's going through a tough season or whatever they're struggling with something, just know that is temporary. You know what I'm saying? There's always a way out. You know what I'm saying? Like the thing about it as roller coasters, you know what I'm saying? There's people that hit the bottom, there's people that skyrocket and hit the top, you know what I'm saying? And you're not gonna stay down forever. You always make your way out for sure. 100%. You see?
Yeah, I guess I'm up. For some of the blessings.
Or even on mentorship.
Yeah, like people that poured into me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been so blessed with just like good mentors, and also like mentors that, and you guys kind of alluded to this earlier, they leave a safe space for you to mess up,
Yeah.
but they don't let you stay there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, you messed up in this area. If you're still messing up in this area, this was a conversation one of the pastors at Gateway had with me. Shout out Mitch Black. But we were talking about balance, going back to balance from earlier. And I had said yes to like too many events. This is the first time I started getting asked to do like different district events and that kind of thing. And I was like, dude, I'm burnt out. I don't know what to do. And he was like, yeah, man, you're going to have to learn to say no. And don't be too hard on yourself. You know what? It happens. But if you're still not saying no in a year, then that's a different conversation. And like we apply it to these practical things of like musicianship and worship leading or preaching or whatever it may look like. But also even just in like the spiritual disciplines and rhythms that we set up where it's like, oh no, I'm actually not in my word, but my mentors are going to hold me accountable. And then out of that, as a leader, you're able to do so much better. Because again, you're not leaning on your own experience because it's not like we have a ton to draw from. But instead we're drawing from like inspiration and prompting that comes from something greater that like transcends that experience. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I think I've been so blessed in that regard. And also by people like my current friend and boss, shout out Joey Morris. He's a youth pastor at Gateway, and he's my direct report. Like he's so good administratively. Like he's so good at systems and organization. I'm so buns at systems and organization, to be honest with you. So it's been so helpful because it's like he gives me the space to mess up, but then he has that insight to like help me then do better. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the people that like care enough about you to let you mess up, but then also care about you too much to let you stay there. Yeah. That's for me.
What would you say to like a young leader that is burnt out, as you said, calling back to that, that maybe doesn't have that sort of mentorship? What would you say to them in that moment, especially with their ministry, and wondering if they should keep continuing on?
I would say that if you are feeling burnt out, if you're feeling unqualified, that God doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called. And that God will make a way in light of his calling for you. And that often when we burn out, I think, yes, it can be a sense of like, oh, I'm actually in the wrong place. But the Holy Spirit, when he convicts, he elevates. He raises us up to a position where we're able to leave a destructive circumstance so that we can go somewhere better. But if what you're feeling is burnt out and discouraged and afraid of trying again, or like stuck in that kind of thing, I think that prompts a bit of maybe deeper investigation of like, oh no, is this something I'm being called to, but then I'm not living in a way that's worthy of this calling. And maybe this is harsh, but it was always helpful for me. It's like, hold yourself to that standard. Like, it's okay to not have everything figured out and to burn out, but then how can you learn from that and do better? I guess, if I could say one encouraging thing, things do get better. Things do get better. And then things will get worse, like the roller coaster you were talking about, but then things will get better again. And I think what's important is that God is sovereign through all of it. And thank you, God, for the harvest, but also thank you for letting me struggle in toiling and sowing and reaping, because what a privilege and honor it is to be able to learn to rely on you. You know? Yeah. That'd be that'd be my 2 cents. I don't know. Is there anything else you guys want to?
I like what you said. Like, God doesn't call the equipped; He equips the called. Like, definitely connecting on like you when it comes to leadership and like in being in ministry. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to get to somewhere.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You definitely have to like you can't expect to get to location and get to a certain level without even starting in the first place. So definitely starting will help you a lot, and you'll be able to build up as you have more experience, as you interact with the people in the church, and you get feedback from the mentors and the people around you and the leadership around you. You'll definitely grow as the time goes on, as the process goes on, for sure. 100%.
Yeah, even on that note of just get started, be teachable, be a sponge, because the more questions you ask, the more that you're willing to try, even if you think you'll fail, the more that you'll learn just in general of saying, like I don't know how this works, or I don't know how to do this, but I'm going to try and ask questions along the way, because as you do that, you actually, without even realizing it over time, grow your capacity to the point of, I often refer this back to music of, we had a teacher in my grade 12 year that gave us really hard music. And every single time he would give it to us, we didn't know how to play it, but he walked us through it. And every single time we got a new piece of music, things got way harder. And I remember at the end of the year, we went back to something that we played in, let's say, January, from June to January. And we went back to January and we played it like it was clockwork, because our capacity had been stretched of, we didn't know how to play that piece on day one, but we grew. And the more that we grew, then when we went back to piece one, it was like, no, I know what to do because I've experienced this, and this. And experience is also something of like, experience ministry. Like, if you're a leader in a church, try out different areas. If you're new, try out tech team, try out worship. You, especially for people our age, we're at the age where, like, not that you can't fail at any age, but we're at the age now where failure is almost something where it's like, this is totally okay. Like, we're expecting you to fail most of the time, because quite frankly, we all don't know fully what we're capable of yet, because we haven't done everything. And so for young leaders, just getting out there, asking questions, finding a safe space and a safe community that will hold you accountable. But also, again, not let you stay where you're at is huge.
Yeah. And that's where we're at.
This has been Couch Convos
With Ethan,
Zach,
Malik.
Jairus.
I don't know when we finish. See you next.
ready, watch this. I want to end off in a song. Something about the name Jesus. All right, sing it.
Something about the name Jesus. It is the sweetest thing.
Solo him.
Something about the name Jesus. Something about the name Jesus.
It is the sweetest name I know.